Jim Gardner, does that look like a school to you?
Yes, it is, Kelly.
Well, this weekend marks 5 years since that day, since the Moore tornado killed 24 people, including 7 students at Plaza Towers Elementary School.
And for those 7 families, the heartache is still raw. I sat down with several of them to talk about how their lives have changed and the advice they now give to all of us.
This is my boy.
Christopher Legg would have been 14 years old.
I learned about grief that I didn't know. I learned that it's relentless. It feels like you're being hunted.
Grief 7 parents have had to deal with in different ways over the last 5 years after an EF5 tornado showed no mercy on their kids' school.
Grief doesn't really diminish. You just develop some capacity of dealing with it.
We had to learn to lean on each other and not try to do it ourselves. You can't do this by yourself. You just can't.
You wonder what Christopher would look like, or how tall he would be, or his behaviors now as a young teen or going into adulthood.
Ross and Danny Legg have since moved away from Moore. In fact, all of the families except one have.
The emotions flood through you because his death was preventable. That was actually the last book he read.
Throughout the last 5 years, Danny made it her personal mission to get storm shelters in all Oklahoma schools. And while they're not in every school in the state, by next storm season, all Moore public schools will have them.
There's thousands of kids that are sheltered currently because my son died when he didn't have to.
This is my son, Kyle Davis.
Kyle would have been 13 years old.
It feels like it just happened yesterday. We think about a lot about what he would look like today.
I feel like he'd be like 5 inches taller than me.
Kaylee Davis, Kyle's sister, was also at Plaza Towers when the tornado hit.
I try not to focus on the bad because then I just get sad.
She says what's helped her the most over the last 5 years is getting counseling. And her mom, Mickey, says that's what's helped her as well.
I would be a millionaire right now if I had been taking money for everybody that's told me, you're a strong woman. You're so strong. Really? I mean, I don't feel strong. I'm doing what I have to do.
One thing that may surprise you is she still goes to Plaza Towers to volunteer.
Some days at Plaza, I feel like I'm closer to Kyle.
Since the tornado, all 7 children now have permanent memorials here outside of Plaza Towers Elementary School with a reminder of what made them so special. Like Sydney Engel, who loves softball. And for the last 5 years, her family's held a charity tournament in Sydney's honor to give scholarships to other young people. Antonia Candelaria loved to draw and paint and make crafts. Emily Knatzer loved unicorns and all things girly. Janae Hornsby would play dress up and sing throughout the house. And Nicholas McCabe loved Legos and country music.
I don't want people to forget. I don't want people to forget at all.
And as we remember all 7 of these precious children on May 20th, the families also want us to remember this.
Don't take your kids for granted. Cherish every day you have with them because you're not guaranteed tomorrow.
And the families are planning their own private ways of celebrating their kids on the 20th. For instance, Mickey Davis and her family will celebrate Kyle by letting balloons fly at a soccer field.